Hey class, we're going to learn about the stop motion video assignment. This is supposed to be a fun assignment where you're going to be doing some animation using real life objects through stop motion. The first step is you're going to have to go and film your footage. You can even use something as simple as an iPhone. You can use a normal camera or DSLR camera to get your footage. So I want to show you how to get your footage off once you have it. So I hooked my iPhone up to the computer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the magnifying glass and type image capture. Now I'm on a Mac. Now Windows it would be something different. Now when I plugged in my iPhone, iTunes popped up, so I'm going to force quit that. Okay, it says I need to unlock my iPhone, which I did. Sort it by date. I'm going to go and choose all the pictures that I just took. Now I just shot something simple just to show you for an example. So that's the first one. I want to hold down Command and just click on each one. Now you could hold down Shift and just, if you got like hundreds of pictures, just hold down Shift and just choose every one. I don't want to get the MOV files that came with them. And then what you'll do is you'll choose where you want these to import to. I'm going to choose a root, I call it a root folder for these type of projects. I'm going to create a new folder and call this stop motion. Click create and then choose. So I got the stop motion folder and I click import. And they got checked, so it shows that they imported in. Now I'm going to close image capture, and I'm going to go to my desktop and look in the stop motion. Now here are the photos that I took, so you can kind of skip through and see how that's going to work. The way we're going to edit these and turn them in is going to be through Adobe Premiere. So I got to set Adobe Premiere up. So I'm going to go down to Premiere, open it up, and I got to do a few things before we get started. I got to set it up to read this stop motion folder. That's where all the project files are going to be saved in. So when it opens, first thing you do is click on New Project. The location, you got to click Browse and find that folder that you put your pictures in. Mine's on the desktop in a folder called Stop Motion. And then I click Choose. And then I'm just going to call this 7B underscore. And you would put your last name. I'll put mine. And then Stop Motion. Now if you have several people in your group, you would put all your last names with dashes in between. And then you click OK. Now this menu is to determine what format that you want your video to be. I'm going to just choose 1080-30 under AVC HD. When I drag my pictures in, I might change it to match the format of the pictures. So I'm just going to click OK. The way I got my menu set up is a lot like the editing CS 5.5. So first thing you might go is Window Workspace, editing CS 5.5. And then you'll have the menu and everything laid out mostly like this. To import your pictures, they go in the project panel. You can right click in here and choose import and choose all the pictures. Now you'll probably have a lot more than this. I just wanted to get some to just give you a little bit of an example. Now I'm going to select all these pictures. Now you can do it one at a time or you can do them all at once. I'm going to select them all at once. And I'm going to drag it into video on the timeline. And you got your playhead, and it goes like that. These pictures are bigger than what the frame is. So I'm going to select all these pictures, right click, and choose scale to frame size. Now the pictures are all the frame size. If I hit the space bar, I can hit play. These are supposed to be like millisecond frames, and these are now set to be like 5 seconds each. So I'm going to want to reduce the time span. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to go about right there and click O for out. Hit return. And see how little it is? And then I'll move this over. With the move tool, I can even move it to be small right there. And then I can delete that space, get the next one, delete that space, drag the next one. Now this is very time consuming, especially if you got hundreds of photos to go through. Now I'm going to play and see how it moves a lot faster now. Now if I want them to go even faster, I can zoom in, make the clips even shorter amount of frames. How much space the picture is how long it's going to show up. So I'm going to hit play, and now it looks more like he's speeding through. Driving through. To make it sound more realistic for your project, I'm going to show you one more thing. So I'm going to save my work here, and I'm going to open up GarageBand. Now GarageBand has a lot of pre-made sounds already embedded in the software that you can actually export out and pull into other software like Premiere or audio software. So it's opening up the last file I opened, so I'm just going to go File, and I'm going to choose Empty Project, click Choose, just click Create, and I'm going to go to my loops. The ones that I'm going to look for are under Sound Effects, and I'm going to try Core, search for Core, Sports Car Passing. Or sports car. Just do passing. All right, so I'm going to drag that on the timeline right there. Let me see if there's anything. Oh. There's a horn. There's a. I could drag that in there too. I might even like start it off with it sounding like he's honking his horn and then passing by. So those are the sounds that I want in my animation. You could add like background music as well. You could create your own loops in GarageBand or get a song that's royalty free. But to get it off of GarageBand, you got to click Share, Export Song to Disk, and I'm going to export it to my stop motion folder. Name it Car Sounds. Choose MP3. Click Export. And then it's done. So I'm going to just quit GarageBand. You can save or not save. It doesn't matter. And then I'm going to go back to Adobe Premiere. I'm going to right click, import, and I'm going to import Car Sounds. In the timeline, you got video tracks on top and audio tracks on the bottom. So I'm going to drag Car Sounds. So it looks like I'm going to need more footage, but what I can do is I can lead with the horn. I can duplicate them, make it repeating over and over. Footage. Here we go. So hopefully you kind of get the idea of how that works. One big time saver when working with these photos, when you just drag them in defaultly from the project panel, they're default 5 seconds long. If you don't want to have to deal with that and you have a set amount of time that you want the pictures to be, you can just select them all and then right click and choose speed duration. And you could do like 0.03 of a second. If I drag them all down now, here they are. Let me right click and scale the frame. So now they're all the same length. 0.03. You can even get it smaller. Just go back up there and reset it. So you just want to make it as easy as possible so you don't have to click and drag and spend as much time. Now, when you're done with your stop motion, you can add, like, if you want background music, you just import it and drag it underneath in Audio 2. You want to add text or titles, you can click the new title, name it, click OK. Sports car, click close, and then you can just drag the title above. Now, to get this out of Premiere, to render it and export it, you're going to have to go File. Well, you want to save it, but you go File, Export Media. Before you do that, you got to make sure this area right here, see the little orange highlight, make sure that your timeline is highlighted, because if you have this area, it's not going to export it. So you got to have your timeline selected, File, Export Media, and format, choose H.264, and I'm going to go down and choose YouTube 1080. And then output name, this is what you're going to name the file. I'm just going to click on that, and it's going to be an MP4. Click Save, and then you just click Export. And then it goes through the rendering process, which isn't very long. And then you just go to your root folder where you exported it to, and it's an MP4 file. And that's all there is. You upload it to Google Classroom and turn it in, and that's the stop motion project in a nutshell. Thank you all for watching.
Hey class, if you like this video, please click like below and subscribe to this channel. Also, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.